Welcome back to Run Thoughts. On today's episode, we have Connor Fagan. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah.
From The Peak Stride. He is a certified Australian. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about our current training. And then we're going to roll into some controversial topics that are running related. So without further ado, let's jump into this episode. So the 28th, I took that day off, and I've been kind of taking rest days just as I need them, knowing that I want to take one per week, but it just kind of floats. And I took a rest day on Monday, and then let's see. I knew that I had a wedding to film, and I knew it was 4 hours
Oof.
away. Well, I learned that it was 4 hours away that Monday. I thought it was 3 hours away. So I knew that that was going to be tough. And since I took a rest day on Monday, it was going to be tough to get the 55 or so miles a week that I've been trying to get. And let's see. So I had to run. I knew I was going to have to run 7 days in a row. So
Oof.
so I thought. And so I get through the week. I get to the place. I run that morning, film the wedding, come back, go to sleep, wake up, run. It was a 4 hour drive home. So I decided to just split up the mileage because I knew I was going to be racing this next week. And so did all that. And then the next day, which would have been this past Monday, I was running with my dad, and he runs way slower than I do. And I was cooked. And I was having a tough time. I'm like, this is like such a slow pace. Why am I breathing so hard? Why is it so just hard to run right now? I get done with about 10 Ks with him and was going out for another, what's 2 miles in kilometers?
3 point something Ks.
Okay. Went out for that many. And about halfway through, I realized, wait a minute, I already got my mileage in for the week, or for the week, and I did it in 6 days. And I was going for starting the next week, but the body doesn't know what 7 days is. It just knows.
Yeah, it's like a rolling 7-day kind of.
And I've been trying to keep
mileage,
that
yep.
rolling 7 day average to 50 to 55 a week. And so got halfway through that last little bit, and I said, wait a minute, I'm working on 60 plus miles right now instead of 55 or about 100 Ks. So
Yeah.
that was rough, but I knew that this next week I was going to take it easy for the most of the week until today, when I decided to try and go all out for a half marathon effort, just to see where I am for this sub 3 build. And started out, it was super humid and about 67 degrees, whatever that is in Celsius.
I don't even know.
You guys don't use Celsius?
We use Celsius, but I don't know what Fahrenheit is.
Probably
I
like
don't know the conversion. Probably like 20 something degrees, which is pretty hot for a
25,
race.
yeah.
Like you'd be wanting it to be pretty low, like more close to like 10 degrees Celsius for like good optimal conditions.
Yeah. So it was pretty hot, pretty humid, and started out. It was really hard, but also as hard as I thought it would be. And then the middle part of the course is pretty tough, has a lot of climbing. And I got to the part where I knew the climbing would subside and we could coast downhill for the last about 2 miles. And I turned the corner, got about a mile and a half or so in, got to 12 miles, and I just cramped in my hamstring, the worst that I've ever cramped in my life. And I've never cramped during a training run or a race or anything. So I
Yeah.
guess I just found my limit, or I don't know, maybe it was because I didn't bring any electrolytes in my bottle this time, or just my strength is not there because I've been neglecting the gym a ton this year. So
Yeah.
it's kind of where I am. What about you?
Yeah, cramps are pretty complex. super complex. There's lots of different things going on. It's like multifactorial in terms of cramping. It's not just like one thing. It could actually be a lot of things that are contributing to the same thing. It's kind of like all of these different things that could be going wrong could manifest as a cramp, or it could be all of them, and they all feel the same to you in your own experiences, right?
Right.
I don't know if an hour and 30 minutes is long enough to really deplete any kind of electrolyte stores. So I'm not sure that that would be the case, considering, like you said, you dumped in a lot of electrolytes beforehand. Um, I would be looking at other factors for this. How much time you've been training the last couple of weeks.
Hmm.
Maybe there's like an accumulation of fatigue that's kind of above your chronic load. That could be a factor.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't
another
feel
fa-
good on it. I took 2
yeah,
rest days this week, and I didn't feel good until about halfway through my run yesterday. So
yeah,
that's I mean,
yeah.
that's probably a big part of it.
That's a sign. That's a sign that there's some considerable fatigue going on. Yeah, if you're like still cooked and it takes you like 20, 30 minutes to get into a run,
Mhm.
that's like, yeah, perhaps you're hitting that 3 4 week roadblock. I usually see that a lot of people they'll get to like the third or fourth week of like a new training load, and then it's like everything starts to accumulate, and then you just hit a wall. Potentially you've hit a wall, but you're also not really training for a half marathon. So
Right.
to expect you to be at like peak half marathon shape, I wouldn't expect that. I would expect that you're probably more likely, like you've been training, to be closer to, marathon conditioning, which is completely different, right?
Right.
Probably like, yeah, very, very different.
I want to check and see what my heart rate was, my average heart rate.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I guess
do you know what your training zones are?
not really. I know that somewhere around 145-ish, like 143 to 148, 149 is easy. Once
Yeah,
it goes above 150, and this is all on my watch too, so it's not.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
all
it could
relative to
be
you.
5 beats per minute lower or higher or whatever. Plus, I'm a smaller guy too. I'm 5'6",
Yeah, yeah.
so heart rate could be just naturally higher.
Hmm.
Um, I do know that once I get above like 174, 175, that's when
That's the
I
switch.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, or at least it used to be, because
yeah.
for Indianapolis, I think I averaged 178 for the whole race.
Damn,
Yeah, which
that's quite
is
high.
pushing. Yeah, I'd like it to be down in the like high 160s, like 165 to 168 would be really good, because that's where it's like,
For like a marathon.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
because
Yeah.
it's like just below threshold, but it's I notice whenever I'm just kind of going out for a run and I notice I'm running faster, but it feels good. That's where it usually is somewhere in the mid 160s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 I think our training zones are slightly different. But relatively speaking, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you want to have your heart rate so low that like at least like the second half of the marathon, you should be like starting to get close to the threshold. But yeah, you
Yeah.
should be nowhere near it to begin with. I don't know. I've never ran a marathon, so I don't really know. But
Yeah,
in principle,
it's weird cuz like sometimes the first if you're going hard, the first like 3 to 5 miles just kind of suck to find the pace,
yeah,
and then you just like click into it. And then it gets to like 15, 16, 17, and it starts to your heart rate starts to jump up, and then it starts to get pretty tough.
yeah, you kind of lose control of that heart rate.
Yeah, it looks like I was pretty much over 175 or 176 the whole time, which makes sense.
Damn.
It's
Like
that's
from the
about
first mile, pretty much like did it just shoot straight up?
yeah, it was like 170 the first mile, and then 175 plus, between
Mm.
175 and 180. But
Yeah.
I've learned that that's kind of my if I'm gonna push it, that's where like I don't. try to let it get over 180. Otherwise, I'll just crash and burn,
Damn.
which is what happened today.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I mean, at least you know. At least you know where you're at. At least you know where the fatigue is and things like that. Perhaps if you tapered down properly for this race, you would have just rolled through the whole thing.
Right.
But just that massive accumulated fatigue, um, you just cramp.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it was annoying because that was the easier part of the race. Not just because it was the finish, but it was like the middle section had probably 300 feet of climbing throughout
Yeah.
7 or 8 miles.
Okay.
So
I mean, perhaps that did it.
yeah,
Perhaps it was just a bit too much, and then I'm assuming you go up a hill, you have to come down the other side too.
yeah,
It just destroys the whole leg musculature.
yeah. I don't
Um,
think running 64 miles last week, that was like 20% more than I was trying
yeah,
to do. So I mean,
it's full on. And
I
look, it's still a really hard race effort, and so you're going to get
right,
fitter from this. And so once you drop that back, you know, on tapered legs to like marathon pace, you might actually benefit a lot from having a good solid crack.
yeah,
I
yeah.
reckon.
I think either it'll go two ways in November. Either it'll be really hard and I'll just barely make it, or I'll just barely not make it.
Mm,
Or the other thing, I'll taper really well, I'll recover really well, I'll go out and I'll get closer to 255 and not like just breeze right by it.
yeah,
I don't know though. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I just want to try to get close to
I
it. I
mean,
know the course
yeah,
too, and
for sure. I mean, it is just a time at the end of the day. Like I'd imagine that whether you run a 205 or you run a 305 or like a 255, I mean, if you feel really cooked at the end and you've given it like your best effort, it doesn't really matter, does it?
right.
Because a hard maximal effort is all you can really control on the day, right?
Yep. But I mean, I want that sub 3.
Of course. Of
I'm
course.
just because it'll be like I might actually, so I'm debating on whether I want to do the half or the full at the first marathon that I did, the same race. And it's 10 years this year when I started running. And so
Mm,
to run a sub 3 in the 10th year of running is like it'll be special. It's like
yeah.
I got it. And I'm so close. I just want to get it
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, the fitness is probably there and the mileage and the body resilience. Perhaps just a solid block would do you some good. Yeah. Stay around that like 80 Ks per week. Get the strength stuff back in. Um, Probably add in some strides just to get that like muscular development. Might help
some
too.
some peak strides.
Some peak strides.
How'd you come up with that name?
Uh, Actually, funny enough, it was my partner who came up with it, and it sounded cool. I was like, oh, I want like a name that's about like running, and like there's like momentum to it and there's speed. It kind of sounds cool, like we're going somewhere. And then she came out with it, and so we just rolled with it.
And that's why you're now injured all the time.
That's why I'm injured all the time. It's actually just like one injury that I've had for a long period of time, which is now like resolved. And now I'm just like kind of starting again with running. Like I don't have that like tissue resilience because I've just been off for so long. So now it's like every
Mhm.
5-6 weeks, I just have like one random new thing come up.
Right.
Like this week. Like this week I hurt my back like at work, which absolutely sucks. But like I don't care.
You're
Still
how
gonna keep
old?
getting fitter. Me, I'm 29. But training age,
It's because you're almost 30. That's why.
almost 30. I'm getting those like spooks, the 30-year-old spooks. Nah, I think I've only been really running since what, like the end of 2022. Before that, it was like before that I was going to the gym heaps
Hmm.
and playing soccer previously. I'd always run like one half marathon a year. I would just do it on a random day and be like, oh, sick. All right, I can still run a half marathon. That's really cool. And then
Yeah.
one time, I think it would have been the start of 2022, me and my partner went to Sydney. That might be the time zone difference. There's a half an hour time zone. So we
Mm,
went to Sydney, and so I ran through the harbour, and it took me like 2 hours and like 10 minutes, and it was like the most horrible experience of my life. And I was like, damn, like I'm getting worse at running. I need to like start running again. And then I kind of like sat on it for like 6 months. Then I was like, okay, let's do it. And so I started then, and I've kind of
how
just been like rolling since. What's that?
I'll keep going.
No, that's the origin story. And then started running consistently and slowly kind of got faster and faster, and yeah, now I'm just a cross training gremlin.
What's your best halftime?
120 and 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh. How did
Yeah,
you run that fast?
um so I paced the whole race. So it was like a coastal half marathon, and I was, you run in one direction and then you run back, and there was 2 laps of that course.
Okay.
And on the lap back to the finish line, like the wind was like picked up really hard. And so I was on track for like a 118.50 something on my watch. And the wind was so bad that I lost like 2 minutes in the last 5Ks.
Jeez.
But how did I run that fast? I don't know. Nah, I don't know. I had a pretty good stint of like consistent running, like,
Hmm.
60, 70, 80Ks a week. And I did a lot of threshold stuff. I think I was at that point, I was doing sessions like 3 times a week. And
Wow.
one of those sessions was like 8 kilometers at goal race pace.
Jeez.
So I was really getting really comfortable with that pace.
Yeah.
And I think 2 weeks out from the race, I did 15Ks at that goal race pace in a long run. So I kind of knew that it was like in the bag.
Hmm.
Um, but I was training for a half marathon. I wasn't really training for anything longer than that.
Right.
Um,
So you never ran in high school or anything?
I mean, I played soccer, but soccer's kind of weird, right? Like we would only really do like 1 kilometer time trials. That's about as far as we would go.
Right.
And so that's basically the longest that I'd run continuously up until obviously starting running.
Hmm.
You kind of just walk around playing with the ball and things like that, and then you just do sprints. We would just do easy ball work, which I guess is like easy running now, and then we would just do essentially like strides. We would just do
Hmm.
one after another for like half an hour. And I would always get really fit off just that, which I find really interesting because that's also what I respond really well to now, doing lots of like volume and then doing lots of like strides and like hills, because that's
Yeah.
what we do with soccer. Um, but yeah, that's basically all I did until about, yeah, age 26 or something like that. And then started running. And I think that's my problem. The long continuous stuff.
Yeah.
I tend to break down.
Yeah. That's when I started. I just right into it.
Just balls in.
Well,
Let's
I
go.
started with it was a 4 mile turkey trot on Thanksgiving
A what?
and a turkey trot.
Okay.
You ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, they call it a
It
turkey trot
sounds so
because of
American.
turkey
A
from
turkey trot.
Thanksgiving. It's turkey's not even that good either.
Jesus. A
But
turkey
yeah, we
trot.
did. I did a turkey trot with the girl I was dating at the time, her dad. And
Okay.
the
Did you
short
smoke
try to
him?
make, huh?
Did you smoke him?
Yeah, because I was a lot. Uh,
I love that.
he was he was overweight, but I never really ran either. I remember
Okay.
a few times I had like an armband with a Nike Run app throughout high school, and every time I'd go out, I just how people do. They just go out and try to run as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And so, short story is, we got finished with that, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to do this again." And then he
Yeah.
said a couple weeks later, "Hey, my wife signed me up. It was for Christmas. My wife signed me up for a half marathon. Do you want to train for it with me and run it?" I said, "No way. You conned me into that first one. I'm not doing this again." And then I got back to college, and it was the night before the second semester. And I'm like, you know what? If he can do it and he's 40 whatever and he's overweight, and I could probably do it and I'm 19. Yeah, let's go for it. So we do all that, do all the training and stuff. About a week goes by, I'm sitting in their living room and he goes, I've been thinking about the Akron Marathon. And I said, well, I don't know, because that's like a whole nother ball game. It's not just two half marathons right after another. It's like three.
Yeah. You're
And he
going to
goes,
battle.
yeah. He's like, yeah, I know, but I don't know, it's just kind of intriguing. I go back to their house. It was like right after I left their house, I signed up. Go back to their house a couple days later. He's like, so did you think more about that race? I said, yeah, I signed up already. So,
When you
and I,
commit, you just got to go in and
so
do it.
I mean, I guess I found my limit there actually, my first limit. I got to mile like 25 or like 40, it's like 38, 40 kilometers in. And I just had this terrible feeling in my foot. And it turns out I just completely fractured my middle metatarsal.
Mm,
And it
yeah.
took like 8 weeks to heal. And I remember just being in a boot and being in college, and it was terrible. I was scared to
Yeah.
run it again, but then the next year I came back and I said, I'm gonna rip this. And I ran my previous PR of it was like 320, just under 323. And that was off of I didn't like I followed a plan
Yeah.
for the first like half and full, but then I kind of made my own plan for that one. And somehow on like 30 miles a week, and my peak week was like 44 when I did my only 20 miler, and I ended up running a 323. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did I how did I do that? And I wasn't lifting or anything, just
It's
like,
probably a combination of things, man. It's probably, no pressure on yourself.
yeah, I was in
You
college
probably
back then,
were,
so
yeah, you're probably just chilling, right? Just rock up and get it done.
yeah,
Um, you probably didn't really know about the sub 3 or anything like that. You just rocked up and just have a good bash.
yeah.
That mentality is a big thing.
I didn't
Plus,
know about fuel or anything either. I just knew, hey,
yeah,
they have it on
just,
course, and you just kind of you grab the cup like
yeah,
this and you pinch it.
yep,
I walked all the water stops too, so maybe I should do that
yeah.
next time. Walk all the water stops and then sprint out of them.
This time, what you should do? You should, yeah, just not fuel and stay up the entire night before, even go out, and then just have no pressure, and then
Well,
you might run a PB.
at the Cleveland Marathon last year, uh, I stayed up till like midnight. I was
Yeah,
putting together a social media reel. I couldn't. I had to get it out of my head,
yeah, you got to get it out,
and I
man.
went to
I
sleep.
feel you.
It was probably actually it was probably midnight or 1 o'clock, and I was supposed to get up at 4:30.
That's good.
And I was on pace to run a 3:15, and it was just that it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's cool. That's really cool.
Maybe I should get super shoes or something for the next one.
God, it'd be cheating though, wouldn't it? It
Yeah.
really would.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, how do you know which one you're gonna get, man? What one are you gonna get?
Yeah. I mean,
They're all so different, and
is that I guess you want to jump into the controversial topics? Wait, no,
sure.
you didn't talk about your training week.
Oh, you want to talk about my training week? All right,
Yeah, talk
hold on.
about your training week.
I keep mine in like a notes app. I don't know if you do the same. I just write it all down. So on Monday, I did a cross training double on the elliptical. I did 40 minutes each time. Heart rate, like, I don't know, like 115 or something. And then on Tuesday, I did 8.5 kilometers, 5 something miles, and then I did 6 like hill strides. Pretty good. But this was the day that kind of ruined my week, right? Because I was at work, and obviously being a physio, you're working with people. And someone put all of their like body weight on me when I was like helping them transfer, and my back was like, boom, that sucks. Um, so yeah, pretty cool. Not a running injury for once, just a work injury, which is pretty good. So I had a session on Wednesday. Actually, I cross trained at the end of the day on Tuesday. So I doubled every day this week, which is pretty cool. Wednesday, I did a session in the morning, but my hip and my glute and my back were like starting to get really, really tight, but not too bad. I did 5 by 3 minutes at like a thresholdy pace, which is good. And then I doubled at the end of the day with another threshold session on the elliptical 6 by 4 minutes. Yep. And then Thursday, same shit, brother. Elliptical double. Friday, elliptical double. Yesterday, I did elliptical double. I thresholded both of them. And then today, I just did a nice, easy 50 minutes on the old Stairmaster. And that's probably a boring week for most people. They wouldn't dream of doing that. But I actually don't mind the elliptical. Controversial take number one. I think people would benefit more from doing their easy days on the elliptical than actually running. Controversial take number one. Here's my reasoning why. Impact is what gets most people injured, right? They can't handle the impact. Add that factor on top of easy running being relatively slow. You're spending more time on the ground. Your cadence is probably a lot lower. That can cause a bit of this accumulated fatigue. If you were to get on the elliptical and keep your cadence really, really high and keep the resistance fairly low and keep your heart rate the same, you might actually benefit quite a lot. I know that I have. Like, my paces on Wednesday were like 340 per K for threshold, which, considering I don't do any running sessions, that's not too shabby off just base training. So that was my week. I think the week before I did like 54 Ks. So that's 30 something miles.
32 miles.
I don't think I need much more than that right now.
Yeah.
I think the effective dose for me is like probably 50 Ks a week.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good base. My buddy, he went from he was like 230.
Yeah.
And he's like 6 foot tall. 6'1" maybe. And so he was like the perfect person to start with coaching.
Yeah.
He went from nothing to full marathon in 17 weeks. And
Goddamn.
he didn't walk too much of it, and he ran a 4:53, which is about an 11:15 per mile, or
It's
like a
7
something, yeah.
7:30.
Okay. So yeah, it was pretty slow, but he finished, and I don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, I told him, "Hey, we're gonna like really 13 weeks out is where your actual marathon training is gonna start, but I need you to take the first like 4 to 5 weeks to get up to 25 miles a week,
Yeah.
and then from there we'll build up to maybe 30 or 35. You might hit 40 at your peak."
Yeah.
And I think he did maybe a 17er for his big run, but just because he didn't take it seriously for a little bit, and then he got a
Yeah.
pretty big reality check.
Yeah, man.
But
I can't wait to have my reality check with that
yeah.
one day.
I mean, it's those long runs are something different. When you
Yeah.
like when you do 10 miles, it's not that bad. If you've done a half before, it's 10 miles. It kind of sucks, but once you get up
Yeah.
to doing um 7, 8 miles a day, like I've been doing. It's really not that
Kinda
bad.
chilling, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um,
for sure.
but then the long runs, usually I'll start out at like 12 miles or so, and then I'll jump to 14, and I'll maybe do 15, keep it around there. That's where I've been keeping it, is about 15 to 16. And then 2 weeks ago, I jumped up to 18,
Mhm.
and then I was going to do 20 last week, but then just with how the schedule was, it just wasn't going to work out. But I think I'm going to try to do 20 this week. But it's like after an hour 45,
Yeah.
that's when things just like start to hurt.
When the wheels start to fall off, hey?
Yeah, and if you don't have any music or anything, it just gets so boring.
Just raw dogging it, hey? No music, no nothing.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes. I
that's
mean,
cool.
I really never listened to music um when I ran. Like when I
I don't
started running,
either.
and I did during Indianapolis last year, but that came back to bite me a little bit because I got all screwed up because I accidentally threw away one of my gels when I tossed my throwaway
Mm,
clothes at the beginning, and didn't reach down at mile 12 or 13. I was supposed to have 3 gels. I only had 2. I started freaking
oof.
out, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can just stretch out 1 mile here and then take this one here at 17 or something like that. And I was running along and I was listening to music and stuff, and I was feeling good. And I said, for some reason, I thought I was getting close to 20 miles. And then I
Yeah.
passed the mile 17 flag, and I said, that's not good. So it took me a little bit to to recover from that,
Yeah.
but
God damn.
yeah.
That's very cool. Very, very cool. I've not really had to do any races requiring much fuel. I think in the half marathon I maybe took like 3 gels or something,
Mhm.
but I didn't have to. So I've not really ever bonked or anything like that. I didn't even know what that really feels like. So pretty keen
Yeah.
to feel like that one day. I think the most I've gone is like 29 Ks, and that would have been a session. I think that day I would have done like 4 by 5K at like half marathon slower effort.
Mhm.
Um, but even then, it's like it's still probably not getting to that 2 hour point, which I think is when it starts to get really sore. I can't imagine doing like a 5 hour marathon. That must be so hard,
It was tough
infinitely harder.
because my fitness wasn't quite 309 like I ran in the fall, but it was still probably, I could have at least ran a 320.
Yeah,
And so going along, it was though it was like those Instagram reels where it says running at zone 2 pace is like, and then like an old guy and with a walker just like walks by the guy as he's running.
man, zone two running. Hey,
Is that a
big fan.
controversial topic?
It can be if you want. We can riff. We can riff on zone two running.
Zone 2 running.
I don't know
Well,
about you, but my zone two goes up to like 143, and if I'm at 143 in an easy run, like it's not feeling easy.
really?
Nah, no way.
Yeah, for me it's usually once I hit 146 or something.
Yeah, you
146,
feel that
and then it
little that
starts
little
to feel
click.
a little bit like I'm working a little bit. And then if it's like 150 plus,
Yeah,
it's
man.
just
Math heart rate.
that's a that's
I
also
don't think
another.
that I don't think that works for me because 153 is like I'm moving.
Yeah.
I'm at like 420 per k pace, and so that's not easy, and I'm not doing that every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work for me either.
Yeah, like
Um
I suppose if you use it as like a limit, but like I'd want to be in like the 120s, 130s for like any of my easy runs, which is borderline zone one.
yeah,
And I know that maybe that's controversial in itself, saying that you should be running in zone one. Um,
that's
that will
almost
trigger
walking.
people. That will trigger people. But
Yeah.
if your zone one's at like 5, 10 per K pace, like 8 20-minute miles, then you know I don't see the point in going any faster than that.
Right.
Doesn't really. But a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that, and that's okay. But that's what cross training's for.
Yeah.
You can get in that zone one work. I think if you look at a lot of elite runners, like most of their runs are in zone one, which is pretty cool.
And
Like they're
they're still
obviously
running like
supremely fit. Yeah,
yeah,
and
they're
they're running
still
a
running like
lot, right?
630 miles or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, is the fact that they're running in zone one a mechanism for them to run more and do more volume in the week, or is the
Mhm.
volume in the week what is causing them to be able to run in zone one? And I would say that it's the fact that they've just got years of just massive amounts of volume that's just
Yeah.
built up so much that they can do that. But for common people, even myself, like I did 11 hours this week of zone one, and you can't tell me that that's not going to get me fitter. I would
Yeah.
rather do 11 hours of zone one than do 4 hours of running at like high zone two.
Yeah. I was for a while I was against, not against, but I was people always say you have to have one rest day a week, and it's like, well, no, you don't. If you cross train or if you take it really
Yeah.
easy. I mean, if you go out and smoke a 10-mile like track workout or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the next 2 days you run 4 minutes slower than the paces you were trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still getting in volume, but you're getting active recovery.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Like you can do things every day.
Yeah.
Um, you just have to modify the intensity. And if you can't modify the intensity low enough with running to not be like essentially walking, then you may as well just go and cross train or something
Right.
and get the same benefits in it. If you're so fatigued that you have to run so slow that it's essentially a walk to kind of get that recovery in every day, then I would say just go get on a bike or something.
Yeah. That's I think that's one of my controversial topics. Is that
Yeah,
you
I
don't
like it.
always have to have one rest day per week.
Nah,
You can
man.
have
I've
you
done
can have
I've done seven doubles in a row.
yeah.
But the only way that you can do that is, my average heart rate for all of that is like 115.
Yeah.
So there's a weighing
Yeah.
scale here.
I think there is something important about having rest days for your mentality though. Cuz
Oh, for
sometimes,
sure.
especially when you're doing a ton of volume, it can get just really
Yeah, man.
monotonous.
I mean, I can imagine after like a wedding when you're basically on your feet for like hours on end and then you're editing all these photos and stuff. You're so mentally destroyed, and probably systemically fatigued. Like, do you really want to go and do a hard session? I probably wouldn't even bother.
It's funny cuz it's not as bad, but after I run a few 50Ks, I always just have a massive dehydration headache. No matter
Yeah.
how much water and electrolytes I pound, it doesn't go away till like the end of the day before I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And uh not so much the headache, but a lot of times when I do weddings, especially when they're summer weddings and they're really hot and I don't get all the stuff that I need to drink and eat and stuff, I just feel terrible the next day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. It's severely underfueled.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. All right. Controversial topic. Here we go.
All right.
All right. I'm going to hit you. I got three. All
Okay.
right. I got three. Number one, 99% of runners do not need super shoes. 99% of
Fact.
runners do not need super shoes. That is an absolute fact because 99% of runners don't actually run fast enough to elicit any benefits.
I don't
All right.
really have anything else to
Yeah.
say.
All right.
I think I think as a concept they're kind of cool, but they're overrated. They cost way too much and too many people,
Yeah,
like you
man.
said, they don't run fast enough. Actually, we when I was pacing my buddy for his 453, we ran by this girl. She was wearing Alpha Flies and she was running like a 12-minute mile. And I'm like, I feel so bad because she wasted money.
Legit. Yeah, man. Save your money. Get yourself in some Nimbuses like this, 100 and whatever dollars on special, and actually be comfortable in your race.
Yeah. There's so many more things that you can do with just learning how to train better and train
Yeah,
harder
man.
and nutrition
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
those super shoes, they what was the Alpha Fly next 4% or whatever? It's like
Yeah.
marginal
BS.
gains.
I think I tested it out at my threshold effort. Keep in mind that that threshold effort was like 345 per K when I tested it out. So it's like already like that's in the realm of where the shoe's actually going to be effective. And
Mhm.
it was like 5 seconds per K for me personally.
Mhm.
Difference between like a normal shoe and like my Vaporflies. But like if your race pace is like 5 minute Ks or like 6 minute Ks, those shoes feel horrible. I have a pair of Superblast 2s. They don't have a plate, but they're inherently like a fast shoe.
Mhm.
But they feel horrible until I start running quite fast in them. They just feel horrendous. Like I'd rather just wear like a cheap pair of shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, my race shoes, they used to have what they called the POP system, which is pop. The company's called Newton Running out of Boulder, Colorado,
Yeah,
and it's based on like action reaction technology. And they basically have they have air chambers and then they have like a nylon plate, I
yeah.
guess, over top of them, but just in the forefoot. So I guess they're kind of like what Alpha Flies are, but a lot like they started doing it back in like 2013 or 14 or something.
Mm,
But that's how all their shoes are designed, and
that's good.
they have like the Pop 3 was like if you're just getting into Newtons, the Pop 2 is a little bit more aggressive for daily trainers, and then the Pop 1 is like the most aggressive, higher lugs on the
Yeah.
bottom. And
Mm,
that's what I use for my race shoes. But they don't feel great at slower speeds. I have to use them for faster stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise
Yeah.
they don't
There you go.
respond right.
They just feel terrible. The way the shoe moves and stuff like that. No good. All right.
Yeah.
We agree.
All right.
Excellent. That's not fun when we both agree. Okay. Number 2. Professional running is really boring because it's obvious who is cheating. It's
Hmm.
completely obvious who is cheating. And so therefore the races are inherently boring these days.
I think they're just boring. I mean, running is not fun to watch. It's not like
Yeah,
soccer or something where it's like
exactly.
it's just
It
people
is it is
running.
pretty boring. It is pretty boring. I used to enjoy it, but I don't know if you've noticed this trend where like whenever a world record gets broken, the person that's breaking the world record walks across the line as if they're like nasal breathing, like they're not even tired. Have you noticed that?
I
It's
don't
pretty cool.
know for like I don't know, maybe for the longer stuff you can tell who's on stuff, but for the shorter
Mm.
stuff, it's always pretty close. I mean, there's always like 2 or 3 people that are always pretty close. But again,
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't really follow the shorter
Yeah, yeah,
stuff, the track, the Diamond League,
yeah.
any of that stuff.
Did you see the women's mile uh record attempt?
Yeah, that
Did
was
you see
complete
that?
garbage.
How dude, they had a rolling start. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They gave her like a rolling start into the start line. So like to try and like get her over the line, it's like, dude, like
I mean, to
that's
run
crazy.
was like 5 to 7% faster. That's
Yeah.
just
It means
not
her VO2 max would have had to go from like 77 to like 85.
yeah.
That's what I read.
That's like 5 years of training or something.
That's like going from genetically the top 0.01 and somehow getting even better because she's
Yeah.
already like the world record holder. She's already like the top.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I guess
That's crazy.
on that topic, this is one I didn't have, but controversial topic. All the science and engineering and design they do for that wind suit, I think it's pointless. she's not an F1 car that's trying to
Yeah.
go 200 miles an hour.
That's right. That's right. She's not running at 45 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at all the triathletes and they're on their bikes in like the wind tunnels and they're riding at like 45 k's per hour
Yeah.
and they like little adjustments make such a big difference. But when you're
Right.
running at like 22 kilometers per hour, like they're so like negligible unless you're running at that speed for like an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back to my controversial thing, did you ever see the half marathon world record? It was like a 56-minute. It was like Kiplimo, I think. You should go watch that race.
I think I saw, yeah.
My guy is sprinting the entire time, completely just not breathing hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then you look at obviously Kipchoge when he does his sub 2, and he's across the line, he's jumping around all over the place. Kiptum when he gets across the line for his world record, barely breathing. I know, it just seems pretty sketch to me.
He's not breathing anymore. I shouldn't have said that.
That's all right. Okay. Controversial take number 3. Okay. Marathon majors suck. They suck. They're the worst. And I'll never do one. Getting there sucks. It costs too much.
Yep.
There's too many people to do anything fun.
Yep.
If you want to run in the sub 3 hour group, well, you're going to be running with 3,000 people.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I experienced that firsthand when I signed up for Chicago last year with Team World Vision. Didn't raise enough money, and I was out $250 plus $35 for the jersey that I paid for to represent them. So
if you're fast enough to get into like the front groups, like maybe you're running like 2:30 or something, and you're in a group of like not that many people, it might be better. But like if you're running 3 hours or slower, there's just people everywhere.
Yeah.
You're like, I've seen the videos and it just looks crap.
Yeah. That's part of one of my controversial things. I think
All right, go.
I think the Boston
Rip it.
Marathon is the dumbest thing.
Yeah, man. And they don't
It's-
even allow you they don't even allow you to record at the race.
That is the biggest reason why I will never run it. It's like, yeah, okay, I understand that you rent all the streets or whatever, but they're
So
not
does
your
every
streets.
other race.
It's not like the streets aren't part of your business. Like you're just renting them. It's not like someone's coming into your establishment and making money off of like somebody going into a coffee shop and running a business out of the coffee shop.
Or running a race in a coffee shop.
Do you
That'd be
do
good.
you watch Bo Miles?
Do I watch Bo Miles? Is he that Australian dude that did like 1 mile per hour for 24 hours while he was like, fixing the shed and
He
like,
ran a marathon in a hotel.
I've
They
seen that.
had like some sort of convention going on. He's just running behind the stage and stuff.
That's funny. That guy's cool, man. That guy's cool. He, I think he did like a really, really old documentary of him like in a canoe, like going all the way around South Africa.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just him like on this little thing, just talking to this camera. Like he's talking to like Wilson, like in home, like what's that movie? Like Castaway. It's like, he's quite clearly going insane. It's cool. That I do like that channel. That is cool. There's not many YouTube channels that I watch anymore because I'm just sick of it. But that is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess back to Boston.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? Oh, people complain that like the Newton Hills, like it's a tough course and whatever. And it's like most of the marathons that I've ran are over 700 or 800 feet of elevation gain. So it's like,
yeah, wow.
And the one that I've done a couple times, I've done it 4 times. They changed the course, and now there's like 11 or 1,200 feet of elevation for the whole course, and 800 feet of that is in the back, and it sucks your soul. So whenever people talk about the Newton Hills or whatever, it's like, have you guys ever run Akron? Like, it's not. Just shut up. It's not that hard. Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Controversial topic: shoe rotations.
Shoe rotations, I think.
More than like 2 or 3.
It depends on what point of view you're trying to go with. You can go with a point of view that it's like extending the life of your shoes, which I've tested myself and is false. Simply put, like your shoes don't reinflate, the foam just
Yeah.
dies. Like I've had 3 pairs of the same shoes at 3 different mileages. One of them I left for like 6 months and I came back and like the measurements were the same. But the shoe rotation stuff is actually beneficial in applying different loads to your body. So different kinds of
Mm.
shoes will have different kind of dynamics and things like that, which can actually help to offset like repetitive loading patterns. So if you are changing shoes all the time, it's probably going to be pretty good for your joints and your muscles and bones and shit.
All right, hear me out.
All right, let's go.
If you find a good pair of shoes and you don't really ever get any injuries and you keep getting the same pair of shoes,
Yeah, this is fun.
I think for me, I think the only reason I'd need a shoe rotation is so I don't wear them down. And in that case, I'd probably just get the same pair of shoes.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
also if I'm doing other stuff like trail running or like different surfaces.
Yeah, that works.
All right,
That works. I don't think that's
next one.
controversial.
Next one,
All right, let's go.
double thresholds.
Double thresholds.
Yeah.
What about them? Like controversial in their
I think if you go out and you do a longer session, like that's good enough. Why would you want to tax your body twice in one day if you can't recover from it?
I mean, the reason why people were doing double thresholds is because elite athletes were already doubling every single day.
Mhm.
And so the only way that they can add more volume to their week or more intensity to kind of progress their fitness is by doing 2 intensity sessions on one day instead of an intensity session and an easy day, right? So at the elite of elite,
Mm.
that makes sense. But for anyone else, it's kind of dumb. Even though yesterday I did one, but like I said, I've already doubled every single day this week, and it's cross training and it's no impact, so I can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could very easily, and it would be just as valid to do a mega session for sure. I don't think that normal people really need to be doing double threshold running. Just seems pointless, right? Seems
Yeah.
like you could just like dial back your training and just wait a couple more years and you'd get just as fit.
Right. Okay. This one has been pretty big in the running community. Nose strips and mouth tape, but mostly
Dude.
nose strips.
I'm pretty sure I made a rant video about this where I just sat in front of the camera and I just ranted for like 10 minutes about this. Like it's so ridiculous.
Just breathe through your mouth. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like
And if you
who made up
who
the
cares, bro?
in through your nose, out through your mouth? Like I don't. Your mouth is a
Some
bigger
yoga
hole.
teacher, man. Some yoga teacher probably made it up. I don't know. It just seems like I can breathe through my nose faster than, whilst running, faster than, 90% of the people that live on this planet. But like, why? Who cares? It's not making me any fitter. It's like I'm not getting better at breathing through my nose. Like it's
Right.
I mean, generally, if you actually measure what's actually going on, you're like when you're breathing in and out, you're taking air in through both and breathing out through both.
Mm-hmm.
So by blocking one off, you're inherently making it harder for yourself for no reason. So unless you're using it as a way to slow your training down and ensure that you are running in like a really easy zone,
Yeah.
then
Like one of
fair
those
enough.
training masks or whatever.
Sure. I mean, if that's what you have to do to slow down, I personally would just slow down.
Yeah.
And continue just breathing through my mouth. There is a case that like if you breathe through your mouth a lot, like the dynamics of your breathing in terms of like what's helping you expand your rib cage can become a factor. But like, who cares, man? If I'm running at VO2 max, I'm breathing through whatever hole I can to get air in. So yeah, block your mouth if you want, but you're only slowing yourself down.
Okay,
But I
next
don't
one.
know. The air might be different where you guys live. You might have different air. We have clean air down here.
We have Fahrenheit
Clean.
air.
Yeah, we have
We have
Celsius.
freedom air.
Our air's upside down.
You like? Do you guys breathe through your butt down there, or like how does that work?
Nah, actually, the one thing that I have noticed about going to America, and this might just be because I went to LA, is like you notice getting off the plane that the air is completely different to here.
Oh yeah, LA is weird. I went there for
Yeah,
like 36 hours, and then I came home
yeah,
straight home.
yeah, yeah. Very different.
But that also might be because LA is just a terrible
Toxic.
city, and they just need to like
Yeah,
break off from the U.S. and float out into the.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
All
Okay.
right, next one:
All right, here we go.
sodium bicarb.
Sodium bicarb. It works. It works, and that's why you've seen a lot of 800-meter like times start to drop because they've been smashing the bicarb. But like, bro, I'm not gonna be sitting there like mixing in my bicarb to go do a run. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just not gonna do that.
yeah.
I've messed around with it, and it just hurts my stomach.
I've heard that. I forget. There was a video I was watching by some like nutritionist or something, and they said that at a certain point, your body starts to make the same stuff that bicarb like tries to do.
It has to. It has to.
Yeah.
So in you already have bicarb in your blood. Your blood has like this homeostatic buffering system. So if your blood is getting acidic, then the bicarb, in your blood itself will counteract that. Just like if your blood went more basic. So you already have that system in your body. Essentially, what they're saying is that if you take on more bicarb, you can offset that, and you can potentially build up more lactate. But like, bro, I'm not going to be sitting there with my little Morton bicarb system before a race, mixing it in my little thing so I can like eat this like disgusting looking paste. Like
And it
I'm
costs
just
like
gonna,
$300 or whatever.
yeah, I'm just gonna have a couple of wheat bix and then a bit of water.
What is that? What is a Weetabix? Is it
You
wheat
know,
bix or Weetabix or what?
here it's called wheat bix, but I think where you live, it's Weetabix. It's just like a wheat biscuit. It's like, I don't know. They just pull the wheat off the ground and they just like compress it into like a brick, and then you
Hmm.
just eat it. But because it's kind
Wheat
of like
Bix.
it's like starchy, so it kind of like fills you up a little bit. But because it's so carb heavy, it's like almost like the perfect thing that just sits in your stomach, really nice. In
Yeah.
the same way that like sourdough bread, like if you get a nice bit of sourdough bread, you can just go run and like that your stomach's not gonna like explode. The same
Yeah.
thing. It's like a safe pre-exercise meal, I reckon. That's all it is. Yeah.
Okay. Last one that I have.
All right,
You're gonna hate this one.
here we go.
Stretching and rolling is not necessary.
It isn't necessary. I agree. I agree.
Dang it. Well, you were supposed to not agree.
I
Okay.
I agree because it depends, right? Like if you have specific things that you're trying to fix, then yes. But if you're doing it for no reason, then no. I think when I had my hip injury, I stretched and I did mobility on my hips for like 6 months, um, and it really helped in getting rid of particular things that were contributing to my hip issue. But since then, I've done no stretching because I just don't need to. I have the mobility that is required for my given activity.
Yeah. I
So it really
guess
depends.
I guess what I'm unsure about is when you stretch, you don't want to stretch cold muscles because you could lengthen them too fast and you could injure yourself. If you stretch
In theory, yeah.
if you stretch after you do an exercise or activity or a bout of exercise or activity. You've already stretched the muscles. So why would you want to lengthen already lengthened muscles? I mean, couldn't that lead to
Um, maybe, but like, you know, I think just generally good habits around body hygiene
Mhm.
in regards to this is gonna outweigh stretching at a certain time of day. Like it's if it's just part of your routine, and you're just doing it, I don't think there's going to be anything wrong. I've stretched before, after, I did a little calf stretch during a session one time. Like, just I don't really think too much about it. I think if we get stuck into like exact details about something like this, like it's going to be really hard to figure out. I think what people should do, is realize that you're not just a runner doing running things. You're also a human that's doing human things throughout the day.
right
So if you're sitting at a desk doing your chat GPT emails,
or Instagram
you're
AI photos?
yeah, or doing whatever people do in office jobs. I've never had an office job, so I don't know what people do. It sounds like hell, but
I have,
um,
and it sucks.
yeah, but
And
you could potentially be sitting the whole day, and so maybe your stretching is not necessarily helping your running, but it's helping you in your life in general. And I think
mhm,
that could be a net benefit if your body's healthier because you have full mobility. It might
right,
not necessarily be making you faster, but it's just going to make you a better person. So I think from that point of view, it's probably beneficial for everyone to be addressing certain things. Might be stretching, it might be mobility, it might be neither because you don't need it, and that in
right.
that case, that's fine.
I guess the analogy I thought of for it is it's not like it's not like old cars where you'd have to start them and let the engine warm up. When you start your car and let it warm up, if it's cold outside, you start the car and it instantly turns on. It's fine.
Yeah,
But you turn on the heat to let it warm up so that when you get in the car to go on your drive, you're ready to go. It's
sure.
not that you need to do that, but
You
it's
don't
just
need to.
nice.
You
And
probably didn't
so,
need to like warm up before like a mountain lion chased you, 20,000 years ago. Like, oh, just hold up, I'm just gonna do a couple of calf stretches. Like you would have just been gone.
yeah,
The human body is inherently extremely resilient. The problem is that people like runners stress our bodies every single day.
yeah,
And so there's so much fatigue going on in our bodies and so much tissue breakdown that potentially we need to warm up and do those kinds of things. But for tsunamis rolling up to your front door, you're not going to have time to warm up and do some stretches. You're just going to start sprinting at 2 minutes 30 per K pace, aren't you? And you probably will be fine.
whatever that is in miles.
I don't know. I think that's probably like a 4 minute mile.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll just let it take me.
Not even if a tsunami of mountain lions are
Nope,
nah.
let it take me. What I mean, I guess that's all the controversial things that I have.
Here's something that I've noticed about people in America, and this might just be because I'm looking at it from YouTube. But it seems to be a big thing that everyone in America just runs with no shirts on, and that's just not the case here.
Yeah, if it's hot, I'm not running with a shirt on.
Yeah. Whereas we just don't do that. It might be because our skin cancer rates are so astronomical that people are like just wear shirts all the time and sunscreen and hats.
Just do it. Just try it.
Just try it.
Breathe the nips.
It's fun. It's funny, man, because like the UV index will be like 11 on days here when it's like
Yeah, don't
28
do it.
degrees.
Don't do
And
it.
it's just horrid. Like
Yeah,
it's quite often that you'll get sunburnt in winter here.
I ran with a light gray long sleeve shirt a couple weeks ago for my long run
Yeah.
just because it was so hot.
Yeah. Grim. Absolutely grim. You guys get the heat, you just don't get the insane UV, which is probably a good thing because here it's dangerous.
Yeah. I
Super
mean
dangerous.
we get UV up to like 8.
Okay.
So it's bad, but it's not
Yeah.
okay.
Let's do the intro.
Um all
What
right,
are we gonna call
welcome back.
this?
Okay. Wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay. Welcome back
Do you
to
script it? Do you
wait,
script your videos or do you just roll? Because
I
I
kind
just
of just
roll.
roll. Write down a few
Yeah.
notes, so I kind of just roll.
I didn't even do that. I just
Just
rant
off the dome.
off the bald head. Just go.
All right.
All right. I'll put my exposure down so I don't look ridiculous. Oh, no. There we go. At least for the intro.
All right.
Go.
Welcome back to Run Thoughts. On today's episode, we have Connor Fagan. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah.
From the Peak Stride. He is a certified Australian. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about our current training. And then we're going to roll into some controversial topics that are running related. So without further ado, let's jump into this episode. Is that good?
It's pretty good.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm leaving that in.
You gotta put in the clickbait, and you won't believe controversial take number 3. Stick around and find out.
If Connor runs 200 miles, he's gonna get $200 million.
Yes.
And like a bunch of stuff popping up on the screen.
Mr.
Explosion.
Beast, just like
Yeah.
Sick.
How do you sign off in Australian?
How do you sign off? I don't know. Just say, all right, I got shit to go do, so I'll see you later.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later, mate. Was that good?
That was good.
Did that pass?
That was good.
It couldn't pass.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
All right.
The next run thoughts.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Run Thoughts. That was pretty cool to talk to somebody on the other side of the world. If you like this style of video, let me know. I want to do more of them. These are fun, just talking to people, having conversations. And if you have any controversial topics, put them down in the comments. I want to see and hear what you guys like and don't like about the running community and things that have kind of popped up as running has become more popular. And for now, that's going to be it. And I'll see you in the next run.